are again with another fireside chat, and I have, I'm getting hungry. The tasty part of the proceedings, can I tell you? Very excited about this because I have two creatives with me who are big in the gastronomy industry. And I have Samantha George, chef, and also Darren George, business partner and husband. I have to, make sure he pops his collar. I love that. Let me tell you a little bit about this dynamic duo. Darren and Samantha are husband and wife team that runs a content creation studio that produces for companies within the food service industry. Darren is a photographer and video storyteller. He produces for the studio, directs their production team, while Chef Samantha attained her bachelor's degree in food service management. She now operates a catering service and teaches people how to master iconic Jamaican recipes via her YouTube channel. She diligently embodies the head cook and bottle washer role by executing food styling, recipe testing, and writing. Their content has appeared in cookbooks, digital media campaigns, calendars, store displays, YouTube, and of course on social media. So welcome to both of you. And I'm hungry just sitting beside you. I don't know why. I asked Samantha when she came up, I was like, Samantha, where's the food? Because if we're talking about gastronomy here, I'm just saying, but chefs do take a break.
Of course.
Especially scheduled mom chefs / homeschool. Don't say no more. I can relate.
Slash wife.
Chef / wife, so many things.
He's making breakfast all a lot next week because he lost the challenge.
And that sounds like he lost a bet for sure.
Yeah. So we're going to drop it on Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah, you guys won't hear about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, let me tell you something. Gastronomy is such a big part of our culture, whether or not we want to admit it. I mean, for most people, it sounds gluttonous. When we start to embrace food and go crazy over food, them say, boy, it doesn't sound like your belly just long. In Jamaican terms, yes, it sounds like you're really greedy. But, our food is one of the identifying markers internationally. We start thinking about Jamaica, we start thinking about jerk. We start thinking about the other parts of, the food that we eat and such. How has your journey been like? How has it, allowed you to grow and really embrace being Jamaican through food?
Well, it started when I was young, growing up in a house with 7 sisters and a brother at various times. My mom was an exceptional cook. Like, she would do stew, fish head, very exotic things and just make them taste world class on Sundays. And I used to wonder, how should make callaloo taste like meat? So I grew up in a house with lots of good cooking, very Moorish, very rich. Christmas dinners with 15 dishes on the table. That was my mom. And her sisters and her mom could cook too. So from then I had a love for cuisine. And then through growing up, seeing Netflix and different things on Food Network, just being inspired by these chefs, telling these awesome stories through food, it just kind of added that next level of intrigue for me.
Yeah.
And so it brought me here, different steps, went to school to UTech, did food service management, and it's been a whirlwind. There are other stories that I want to share, to what has brought me here, but that's it.
Please get into that. I'd love for you to talk to us about how you got here.
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do for so many years. I was in high school, I went to Andrews, and I was just like, should I do medicine? I went to UA, and I went to the orientation, and I just like, I don't want to do this. It was pure applied sciences, and I just had this eureka moment where just like, I don't want to be here. And so I took a year off, went to New York, helped my sister out a little bit, and saw the UTech brochure online, and it described everything, and everything just kind of clicked. It just made sense to me. In terms of the food service management program, you get to test food, you learn about international cuisine, you do a little bit of accounting, and I was just like, this is so me.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do this. So I did that. 4 years of UTech, it was a really good experience. And then I met Darren right before, in high school, and we fell in love in high school. That's a whole nother story.
Okay.
So he came to UTech and encouraged me to join this club called Club Billionaire. It's an entrepreneurship club at UTech.
Shout out to Rachel Callahan.
Hey.
He's
Rachel
always,
Callahan.
yes, Rachel Callahan. She was the leader. She was the head of the club at the time. And so they had a competition to develop a small business on campus, and you win $15,000 if you were the best, or 30. Yes, I think Scotiabank was one of the sponsors at the time.
You can see the husband and wife dynamic right here. I just love that. Yeah.
So he pushed me. He's like, babe, you need to do this. You need to cook something, and we can run a food kitchen on campus. He's always ambitious, always pushing me. and I'm the talent, so to speak. So I was like, I don't want to do it. I'm scared. And he's like, no, man, we can do it. We can win. And so we did it. And we started late.
Yeah, because my father died right as the competition started.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we had to take a little break, about 4 or 5 weeks, and then Rachel was like, "No, still coming, still join." Rachel Callahan, shout out to her, so Startup Social.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we started about 5 weeks late, and we still managed to catch up everybody else and come in second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mango berry was the name. We did
Yeah.
saltfish fritters,
Jerk chicken
banana
wrap.
fritters, or jerk
did-
wrap. Everything was just,
We did 3 iconic smoothies.
gold medal
Yeah.
with pumpkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a rave. People really loved it.
Yeah.
And we went all out with the marketing. We got my friend Chris to be our mascot. We went all out.
Yeah.
It sounds tasty.
Yeah.
It
It was
does.
really good.
It
It was
does.
really good. People saw us after that and was like,
On the
Yeah.
road and
Yeah.
said, Mango berry, when are you going to come back?
yeah.
And so that experience, just the success of that, and me doing a little infomercial for a project for marketing at school, and Darren filmed it, kind of sparked that idea that, hey, we could probably do media. We could probably do food media and shine a light on the Jamaican industry.
Oh, I love that.
Because you're natural behind the camera, and he's really good, operating the
shooting,
camera,
yeah.
really good at editing and storytelling. So we're like,
Yeah. I mean, and it sounds like both of you have just managed to find balance in between your personal strengths. She's good at cooking, you're good at the entrepreneurship side, because the creatives, you have to think of yourself as a business.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And structuring your business so that you can move to the next level of what's possible for your industry, right?
Yeah.
And so, Darren, I want to bring you in here because food, we have tons of corner cook shops in Jamaica, downtown full of it as well. You know what I mean? So how did the thinking come about for you, where you say, okay, well, this is just more than putting food on a plate and
Right.
having that kind of, let me give you a thing for the food, or let me just pay a set price for the food, but building it out in the way that you have.
Right. Well, like Samantha alluded to, we really started off with the experience at UTech. When we shot that video, we did a tour of the whole hospitality unit at UTech, the faculty and everything. And Sam has a natural talent of just presenting herself. This is just her personality, right? So she's very vivacious and spunky. Yeah. So it just came out on camera. At that time, I wasn't even shooting. I didn't even know much about cameras at that time. But then I started to learn, and then we decided she was working and stuff like that. And then I was shooting, and then she decided, you know what, we're going to stay home after we had our second child. And that is when we really decided we were going to come together and build a brand centered around her, right? So it was all about like that same vision that she's talking about, growing up, watching Netflix, that planted a very big seed in her mind as to something that she wanted to accomplish. And she always says, I want to be the Martha Stewart of Jamaica. She wants to have a nice restaurant, tours, bring a lot of exposure, cookbooks, bring a lot of exposure to Jamaica. And I believe it's just how God aligned things, because her strengths complement my weaknesses and vice versa, right? So I said, all right, for her to really get out there, I just need to allow her to do what is best. And that is to just let her speak and be herself. And I will take care of the rest, right? Because I was trying to say, Samantha, why don't learn to shoot? Why don't learn to edit? It was very hard. It was a lot. It was a very high, steep to climb.
Yeah.
So we just said, all right, I will do what I'm best at. You will do what you're best at. And we'll come together. And how we got our first job was just
Through my Instagram.
through her Instagram.
Yeah.
We went down to Raytown. We shot a video about the history of the different kinds of fish, the fish market, Raytown fish market, and all that stuff. Somebody saw that, and that opened the door for us to get a big job with one of the biggest food producers in Jamaica. Just that one video.
You don't want to call any names, because this is the call name kind of platform. You got to tell us who it is.
It was Best Dressed Chicken. at the
Okay,
time.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've done good amount of work with them.
Yeah, and that was years ago. And from that moment forward, we just kept going and pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah, love that. That's incredible. And also just telling, because that's the thing as well, we eat the food, but we sometimes don't know the story behind it.
Yeah.
We sometimes don't care where it come from,
Right.
for the persons who actually made it possible for us to have it on our plate.
Yeah.
So that's incredible. If you can tell the story of food beyond just it being on a plate, that's taking it up another notch for
Right.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I think we're discussing it in the car, is one of the ways our food industry can grow or improve on.
Yeah.
It's just creating a celebration of the food and and just shining a light on it to the world and doing it with in good quality, which Darren is all about. He's all about the quality. It has to be this way.
Of course. Quality is important. Yes.
So I definitely think we can improve on that. Our food is delicious, like so yummy. But if we can package it in different ways and do a lot more fusion and try different things, and then tell these amazing stories that captivate people's minds, oh my God. Our food will be on the map. On the map. You know what I mean?
You guys have managed to go digital even before digital was now a thing to be part of. You know what I mean? Because you get to tell these stories online. But the pandemic has really just kind of steered everybody in that same direction of being online. How has your platform changed, since COVID-19 came about?
It hasn't changed much. It's just all about being consistent. And just putting out your best quality as much as you can. I try just to kind of keep very narrow focused. That's me. Just do what I'm doing. I get inspiration at different places, but I really try to keep focused on what I'm doing and just growing from there, reading cookbooks, watching other YouTubers, getting inspiration from. If I go to a restaurant and eat something, I'll try to replicate it, break down the flavors. What else do you think?
I would say it's changed in certain ways because having kids at home, it reduces the amount of things that you can actually do because, our kids are 6, 7, right? Last year they were 5 and 6, so we had to all of a sudden become homeschool teachers, right?
Oh yeah.
While we're trying to run a production company, while I'm still doing my own production, so it did reduce the amount of time.
In that way, yes.
Right, and then of course not having events, Sam's catering jobs significantly. There was a huge hit right there, and then on top of that, there are no public gatherings. So we have a lot of ideas that we want to implement. We want to go places and do things with people around food, but it involves traveling and stuff like that. And we just, because of the limitations and restrictions, we're a lot more hesitant.
Yeah.
So we're hopeful.
And has it, because I was going to ask you about being hopeful and looking at the pluses of the pandemic for your business as well. Have you seen any increase in knowledge about what you offer, demands for it outside of even Jamaica?
I guess people are more glued to their screen now than ever because everybody's locked in with the quarantines and so forth. So I guess in that sense, that's a positive. I also did a stint with Airbnb cooking online.
Oh, that's so nice.
Because when the pandemic just dropped, people were doing a lot of that. It was very, very big. So that's definitely a plus. People are more willing to learn different cuisines online, virtually. So can you think of?
I would also add to that, companies are now more bold about spending money with influencers and with content creators because it's a lot of roadblocks in front of them when it comes to creating content that is relevant to their brand. And especially the money part, right? So if they can come to content creators like us, which is how we benefit them, because we're a studio, we have everything, props, the equipment, the talent to make everything happen for them. They just turn a key and it happens.
Wow.
Right? It's like a microwave dinner, just put it in and it comes out finished, right? So because of what we're able to offer, they find a lot of relevance and they're now more willing to spend their money. So I found that has increased since the pandemic as well.
Very good. He's thinking.
I cannot do. You see, you both. I mean, you make a beautiful team. We have to zone in on how we transfer knowledge for sure. And it's something that concerns me about. Are we really doing enough, and especially in this time when we're online and we're bombarded by so many different cultures and all types of content pieces. How can we ensure that our young people continue to find our culture interesting and find our products interesting and find our food interesting? And, what are the ways in which we can do that?
Well, I think I alluded to that before. It's really just elevating our cuisine in a way that's easily digestible. I remember a client of mine said to me, I think Jamaican cuisine is so heapish. Like when you think of all the meals that you love, the stew peas, the curry goat, it's heaps, it's stews, it's soup. I guess that's not very sexy.
That's a very interesting way to look at it. I've never heard that. Like when you said heapish, I was like, What do you mean?
Yeah, like heap it, like you heap something
Like
on a
it's like
plate.
a lot of things
like,
on
here's
each
some
other.
rice.
Okay.
Yeah, if we could, a lot of chefs now are doing like interesting things with our Jamaican ingredients. You have Aki ice cream.
Yes, I saw that online.
I
Yeah.
saw curry ice cream once at
Breadfruit
the Food
tacos.
Observer Awards. Yeah, the breadfruit chips, the breadfruit tostones. I think just recreating it, repackaging different elements of our cuisine will make
Yeah.
it a lot more user friendly and interesting to the younger people.
That's very true.
And
Yeah.
making compelling media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like fun videos with the recipes and stuff that's easily done in I don't
Yeah.
know 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the easier the better. The easier the better
Yeah.
because like people like me, I'm just learning how to make fried dumpling offline. And this is something I've been very open about and honest about that I cannot make fried dumpling.
My sister
know.
says that too, and she's a great cook. So don't feel bad.
Oh, okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, online has really helped me
Samantha
to kind of do
YouTube
it.
video about
Yeah,
that.
you
Yeah.
see?
Yeah.
Exactly. You wanted to add anything to the point?
Yeah, I would say based on what I see my kids doing right now, they are listening to podcasts and they are watching a lot of YouTube. If you put stuff there, they will find it. There's not a lot of Jamaican content. It's very hard to find an animated story series of Anansi, for example. It's just very hard. Business ideas.
You're
Give
talking
that one for free.
listen.
Right? So you know what I mean? Like if we need to start creating content because we're so used to winning on the track field. Like I think Jamaicans can win in the food industry as well.
Yeah.
So we just need to create the content, get it out there, make it exciting, relevant.
Yeah,
Kids
but
never
people
find
are
it.
people are very sensitive to quality though, because
Yeah,
we have
that's
cable.
true.
So there's
That
that
is true.
competition, that benchmark that people are used to.
Yeah.
That's
So-
exactly what it is as well.
Yeah.
So our creatives have to truly step it up.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a conversation about what's available to us here.
Yeah.
What
In terms
we're
of
able to
resources.
access. Yeah. Downtown Kingston, I mean, we have so much potential down here for gastronomy. And listen, like when I think about a whole food market where you're just stopping and just tasting this and tasting that and
That's
just
exactly how I feel.
and you see, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. The potential of downtown Kingston. Let's talk about that though for your industry.
I
Tell them
envision
your
it.
vision, Manta.
I see it.
Yeah.
Is it where I see it?
It was on the water.
Right there. No,
Yeah.
Market, Coronation.
It could be the
Right
both
there by Tivoli. That strip there, just transformed with like little huts with local like awesome chefs doing mini patties, doing their fried dumpling and different toppings. Somebody there doing some soup, somebody there doing the fritters in different ways, with different sauces and condiments.
Still pigtails.
It's a safe place, security, people can come, tourists, no matter rich, poor, it's just safe to be there. You go and you eat any time of day. And I likened it to what I saw in Trinidad when I went to
Debbie. Yeah, we went to Debbie.
Doubles. It's like that. Just this strip, this massive street with a big sign, and everybody just go and buy doubles. And there are Hindus, Muslims, everybody just mix up. And it's just this celebration of food.
Of food.
I think if we can get all of you have there's this man in Bochi that sells, his name is Andy. He sells the most amazing ackee and breadfruit on the roadside. He barely has anything. It's a little pot.
Yeah.
And him have the ackee and him cook and him sell 4 meals for the day and that's it. But it's so divine. If you could get all of them across the island to congregate right there, what do you call that road? By Tivoli. And it's just
And just stay there. Not just like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
But that's
permanently,
just your permanent place.
Yes.
And the big
Yeah.
home is
It's a
thing.
food festival that's 24/7.
Yeah.
Oof.
People would travel here
Just to be a
Just
part
for
of that.
travel there.
just for food tourism.
Yeah.
And then you have that beaming out to the world instantly. I think not even instantly, maybe overnight, maybe Jamaica.
Yeah.
That place will become like a food mecca.
Oh my god.
Like you have Seattle and you have New York,
Yes.
and people know about that.
Yeah.
You have Tivoli, Jamaica,
Yeah.
the food mecca.
Oh my gosh. I don't
We
know.
want it, we
Like
want it.
I'm getting all kind of goosepimples. You two are amazing. Oh my gosh. Samantha George, chef, and Darren George, business partner, husband, photographer, creative, business mind. Love it
Yeah.
all. I mean, congrats to both of you with what you have created. continue to inspire. I can't wait to see what you both will be doing very soon because your energies are beautiful together. You have a great synergy. Yeah, all the very best to you both. Thanks for passing by.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we finished already.
Yeah,
That's so much more
we could continue. That's why I'm telling Angela, listen, we need to have 3 days of Kingston Culture Forum because there's so much to discuss and dissect. The
much.
conversations are really, really good. Thank you both again. Thank you.
Yeah, it was good,
Wow,
thanks.
wasn't that tasting appetizing? Even though we didn't eat anything really, right? Oh my gosh. But we had really good soul food with the information. Thank you both again for joining us.